Hello, my friends. Rebecca Robeson here from Robeson Design. I am so excited you're here because today is going to be amazing. This design session is going to focus on the topic of how to design small spaces. And we're going to do it on 3 budgets. That's right. And did you hear me say we? Well, that's because I have invited my daughter, Shara, to join me. Hello. A lot of you know Shara from her own YouTube channel, Live Your Style. You are an expert on designing small spaces.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I've just been fortunate enough to live in under 600 square feet for the past 7 years.
That's right.
Until recently. We did a series called Making the Most of Our Small Space, and we just tackled all the problems you run into when you're trying to fit furniture in a tiny shoebox and also live in it and make it your own.
So how cool is that? If I'm gonna bring in an expert and she happens to be blood.
I learned from the best, Mother.
So today we are gonna show you how we're gonna take a space in my home that has been so many things. Originally it was the Robeson Design offices.
And
I
remember that, you had your oval desk.
Yes, I still have that.
You do?
But not in there.
Oh.
But I still have it. And then it turned into, after we left and moved downtown, then it turned into Santa's workshop.
That was probably my favorite. You have a lot of stuff.
We do. Way more than is really healthy. That was a year, right? 25 days of Christmas. And then after that, you know what it turned into when all the kids were gone? A big storage catch-all space.
We are gonna transform it and show you guys all the things that you need to know to make maybe a multifunctional, multi-usage space. Some of you guys are in that position today where you just need to make like several functional rooms out of one giant
space.
space.
A lot of people have an extra guest room that they also need it to be an office.
Yep.
And, you know, sometimes I go to people's houses and they tell me all the things they want to do in one small space, and I'm like, okay. But today we're gonna do it.
One of our highest priorities is trying to make that room really light, bright, and airy, because the stuff that we're starting with, the furniture we're starting with, is kind of dark, which I think a lot of you guys can relate with.
Did I mention it's Scott's? It needs to function as a bedroom, a living room,
and an office.
And a closet. Are you ready to see how this is gonna turn out? Wait, you gotta, here, I need to. Okay, I'll do it.
Oh,
yeah, that's how that works.
Let's get started.
Let's go on into this room.
Okay, so as you can see, we are in a studio. We have staged this room to look like a studio. It was once a lovely storage unit, but now we've kind of laid it out to kind of make sense, right? We've got the bedroom, the living room, an office closet situation over there. Well, let's get into step number 1. I mean, budget number 1. $1,200. What can we do with $1,200? Let's show up.
Oh, honey, what I could do with $1,200.
So number 1, now this goes for every single budget, but we're gonna talk about it here first and maybe get into it a little bit more later. But number 1,
clean your space.
Oh, baby, I love your madness.
Now, you and I both know that our own spaces don't always look as cleaned up as this does now. More often than not, they look like this.
Yeah. We're gonna show you guys some of our expert tips a little bit later in this episode, but we just wanted to get the point across that the best thing you guys can do to make the best impact in your space that's actually free is just pick it up, clean it up, and throw some stuff away.
Step number 2.
Use what you got. Use what your mama gave you, literally. My mom gave my brother all these things, I think, right?
You love me to pieces, yeah, I need it.
In real life, you gotta keep some things, right? Unless you just happen to be super fortunate and you can go out and buy everything brand new. No, I gotta keep stuff. This sectional sofa, I'm keeping. The color's not bad, although it's dark, and I don't want a dark room. However, it's the perfect shape for this space because you know what it does? It separates us from the bedroom area.
We are also keeping this desk and the 2 little storage areas on either side of it. They are really good storage options. The desk is a really good shape, so I think it'll work for this stage.
And we're keeping the PAX wardrobe systems. There are 2 of them, and we created some symmetry on either side of this whole desk and cabinet area. I love them because not only can you hang clothes in here, but look, this is so great for jewelry and such, and any kind of storage that you need. The only thing about them that I'm not crazy about is that they're this dark espresso color. Not what I want to put in this room, but it's what I have. I'm gonna make it work, and still on a very low budget.
And lastly, we're keeping the bed. So we have successfully achieved furniture in each and every area of the space without having to replace any of the new. We're gonna keep what we have, and it allows us to spend more money on the things that make an impact in making your space look amazing. The next segment.
I love to move furniture around. I mean, I don't like moving furniture, but in my head, I'm always moving furniture around.
I wish I had magical powers to just shift the space.
Kind of like SketchUp.
Yeah.
I've placed this stuff this way, and I think there's good reasons for it, but I would be very curious to see what the bed would look like on that wall, and if we could still get all of our main rooms. For example, can we still get our closets, and can we still get our desk and cabinets and stuff, still get the living room, but change up the layout.
Well, I think we should do it mostly because it'll be fun, but also because it's free to move furniture.
That's true.
Now, Mother, what are your 3 top tips for logical layouts in a space?
Well, the first thing I would say is when you walk into any room, basically have a great focal point. So you pick your focal point wall, and typically that's the wall you see the moment you walk in. It's directly across from the door, or it's a main, you know, like a fireplace wall, something like that in a family room. Yeah.
In a studio space where you have a couple different scenarios, right? You got a living room, a bedroom, an office. Can you have more than one focal point?
Yes, you can. In fact, I like to make focal points out of each wall, create some symmetry. But I would say when you're walking in this door, in this room, if that's what you're asking me, you walk in here, that's what you see. Second thing I would do is I would create a layout where there's a good flow of traffic, a walking pattern so that you can get around pieces of furniture. And it's also great to be able to separate your spaces by using things like area rugs and kind of creating and defining its own use of space. Tip number 3 is to create a conversation area. And I typically like to do that in kind of a U shape, sometimes even a square shape, so you have people looking at each other from all sides. Are you ready?
Yep. You zipped up?
Affirmative.
Let's get after it then.
Why do I keep getting the heavy end?
You got something on the rug.
When I get there, I'm gonna stop. What is one of the really smart things they ever taught you when it comes to moving furniture around?
Hire a company.
That too.
No.
But if you're gonna do it yourself,
Use cardboard.
that's right. Cardboard, you can actually move a grand piano if you put cardboard underneath the legs.
Oh, mood lighting?
Yeah. But you would want to read like this over here. So what do you think about this one?
I think that this one, in a way, makes the room feel longer because it kind of doesn't stop it in the middle. It kind of allows it to come all the way back. It kind of makes it just seem a little bit bigger, which I like. But it makes the room feel like one room, whereas the original layout made it feel like separate rooms, which I liked.
I don't feel like this is a great first impression wall for your focal point. Remember that was number 1 is create a focal point. This doesn't go wow when you walk in. I have to say though, I'm glad we tried it because I've always wanted to see. And I have to say that looks like a headboard, doesn't it? And I love the lighting there. I think that's pretty cool. You ready to try one more?
I'm ready. Where are you? I think it frames the bed really well. The focal point in this room right here is amazing. But I feel like we lost a little bit of the community moment happening with the sofa when we had it originally set up.
It's just everything feels a little off with this one.
I think this was a really good demonstration for us to kind of show people a way to
100%.
make their room look
100%.
completely different just by moving the stuff you have around in a creative way. Okay, so now that you know how to properly lay out a space and have a few options of what you guys can try at home, let's get into number 4, which has something to do with bedding.
Oh, that feels good.
But I think we should get out of these outfits. What do you think?
Yeah.
And now we see it all tumbling down. Nation of fools abandoned baddies.
Number 4, one of the biggest places in your room and one of the places you spend the most time in is your bed. So we decided to spend the bulk of our money on quality bedding.
We want it to look really good, obviously, because it's one of the largest pieces in the room usually, but it's also where you spend all your time. You want it to be cozy, you want it to feel luxurious, and you want it to look really aesthetically pleasing.
Now these are 600 thread count, so that was kind of a big thing in my budget. This is a linen duvet and a beautiful down comforter inside. And let me show you, this is kind of a cool trick. If you're on a super, super tight budget, as you see here, there is no headboard, right? It's just a mattress, but look at this. If you take these pillows off right here, but look at this, super sneaky, bam, there's a window there. It would be kind of hard to put pillows there because they would fall through the window.
Castle.
By the way, just a little tip, put your zipper or your buttons on the inside so the outside, it looks real nice and clean. So if you guys want to know more about bedding, we actually have a 45-minute long design session based on nothing but bedding, all kinds of combinations, and how to do it on a budget too. This is one of those things that people ask all the time. They say, do you put the ties, like the button part or the ties of the duvet at the top or at the bottom? What do you do?
I put it at the bottom.
You put it at the bottom. I often do, but let me tell you why I didn't this time. I love these little bow ties. I think they are so cute, and I wanted them to be part, since this is so super plain white because of this budget, I thought, well, this is really the only design element I have, so I used it to fold back over as part of the design. I'm on to number 5 right now, which is using accessory pieces that you already have. On a tighter budget, you need to use what you have, and later we'll add a little bit to it. One of the things I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna get rid of this piece for a couple of reasons. It's super dark. My goal in this room is to lighten things up, and this is only gonna give me a lot more shelves that I have to fill up with more accessories, which I don't have the budget for. So this piece is going. Jara! I am, however, going to keep this clock because I think it's shaped so cool. It's not great on either side of the bed because it doesn't create any symmetry.
We don't have a second one to match it.
Right, and which would be a little like, you'd look like
Matchy.
a crazy person needing 2 clocks.
Cool.
Yeah.
But we want to repurpose it. We want to reuse it.
And it's a great place that we can use some of these accessories that we already have.
We just created a focal point.
And symmetry. Woo-hoo!
Let's go around the house and go shopping.
Okay.
We need to repurpose some of your accessories.
Well, that shouldn't be hard. I am choosing to use more white things in here because, as I told you, I'm trying to lighten this space up. And I think that because this is so dark, adding white things to it, they'll show up. If I added dark things, it would all get lost. So you have to pay attention to the graduating heights. And I'm gonna pull these kind of forward so the light does touch on it a bit. So these are pillows that I already own, just white, and they're actually, to be honest, they're just little pillow fills, but I think that they do the color.
They do.
They match with the bedding.
Yeah. One thing to be mindful of, if you guys are on a budget, try shopping at stores that are a little bit more budget friendly. So that's like Home Goods, Target, even going to Goodwill. You guys can repurpose stuff. Go to some of those inexpensive stores, use what you have, and then fill in with the fun stuff on a budget.
Let's add the ones we bought. Some people feel like if you've got all white, you should stick with all white. I don't feel like that. I like mixing all my white shades. So we've added the pillows, right, to the sofa, which is tying it into the bed.
Right.
And I have an idea of some existing art that I have that has a little bit of this aqua color. So I think you take it. I'm not going to throw it because we don't want to dent it.
Swap it. It's actually cute that way too. It's like reversible. If you wanted something that was more organic and maybe not glam.
That's super cute. I like that. Honey, I wouldn't have thought of that.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't have.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
So these tripod lamps, Mom actually had in the living room, if you guys remember, behind the sofa. We wanted to reuse them in here because we want to bring in some symmetry. We want it to look kind of balanced, have some extra light.
Our focal point wall.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Use art that you already have.
This is a piece I've had for years. You know, my husband is a surfer, so beachy scenes like this are something we've had, and I've had it up in my attic for so long. I also found these 3 pieces at Target. So I have an idea. You know how I've been complaining about this dark espresso stuff this whole time? What if I hang a piece of art on it?
Literally did nothing. Mom, it's literally on a hook that when you tap it, it swings back to where it was.
I've got about $100 left on this budget, and you know what that means? That means we can add the mirrored wardrobe doors.
Hiding in the dark, but we can see it through the lens that is captured us.
I think that the room looks really good thus far, especially on such a tight budget and using all the things we have. But
And it
we're gonna
does
go
look
now.
a lot brighter for not having a lot.
For having a dark rug and a dark sofa, for sure.
Yeah.
However, it still looks a little dark for me, so we're gonna move on to number 8, and that is just raise all those dark shades.
Raise the roof.
And bring in the natural light.
S-I-L-E-N-T, we don't need our words to speak.
Sometimes adding light to a room and brightening it just means raising the blinds.
Only I'll take the lead.
Well, Shara, I think that we accomplished our 3 objectives. The objectives were lighten and brighten the space, have a closet area, which feels even more like a closet now that we put those doors on, a desk area, a sitting area.
And a bed area.
Yes.
Let go of your thoughts.
And we've also addressed the focal point when you first walk in as a big wow.
We've lightened it up a whole lot.
We've created a great traffic flow. We've sort of separated the living space from the bedroom space by putting that sofa there.
And we've used a whole lot of what we had without having to add a bunch of new.
A lot. So this is what we were able to do with $1,200.
S-I-L-E-N-T, S-I-L-E-N-T, we don't need our words to speak.
So then I started to think, well, okay, what about this 3 budget thing, right? We've done 4 rooms for $1,200. What if we had another $2,400 we could add to that?
Wow.
What could we do?
What could we do?
Oh, you look very studious and secretarial in those
Well,
glasses.
we're talking numbers, so I figured it was a necessity.
We need something when we're talking numbers. But
I'm
let's see what we
listening.
can do. And again, to add more light and bright. Budget level 2.
We are updating not only the box spring, but we are also adding a brand new mattress to really make this space feel luxury and very comfortable.
This is taking this whole space to a whole new level of not only comfort, but luxury. What I love about this new bed and mattress is that it's much lower than the one we had before. The other one had a really tall stand on it, and the bed was up here. I had to climb up to get in it. Now it's just a simple. So we're keeping, remember in budget number 1, that's when we spent our big bucks on the really nice bedding. So we're keeping the bedding, just changing the headboard and the mattress. Anytime you can actually have a headboard and footboard, it's always way more classy than just putting pillows against the wall. And Shara, do we know why it's important to spend your extra money on something like a headboard?
Well, like we said before, in budget number 1, your bed is the biggest space in your room, so most of the time. So it's gonna really capture the eye. It's gonna end up being a focal point, especially in our situation, where it's the first thing that you see.
So I'm gonna go around here. Now, do you know what I see? Remember, Shara, this brings me to number 2. I need to make sure these lamps are in the right locations, but other than that, number 2 is what's interrupting the flow in this room. There is a glass door here, and this actually houses all of my storage for my client stuff, like my install. And I didn't want to be able to see from there to here or vice versa, so I just used whatever I had.
But if you have a little bit more budget, these are the types of things you guys can fix. This is a great example of updating and fixing a few eyesores.
As you know, I like what we did with the beachy stuff in budget 1, but if you have a little bit more money, you can get new art. And I think the one thing that I would say was missing in budget 1 is this is a very big wall with one painting on it. We are filming for the next design sessions, and this is what I call a definite no. I find that if I'm on a budget, and this whole project today is budget minded, right? The best way to do it is to either get something old, which isn't so fun, and fix the frame, or get something frameless. So if you come here, look, this is a canvas and it's wrapped, and this is only 17 bucks. I mean, that's pretty cheap for art.
You're always trying to decorate a nursery that we don't need yet. Does anyone else notice that? Oh, look at this one.
Oh.
Wow, that's really cool.
I say we put those in our cart
Okay.
while we still can.
Me too.
I want to see if we did it in a row, like gallery style, if we'd like that, or if we did 2 and 2. We could do it like that, but put this in the center.
What you've got that's worth showing me.
60 inches wide, 50.
Your authority.
60, so that'll cover that much. Yeah, I think that'll look good. I think if we do, well, let's do 3 inches that way and go up 3 inches that way.
I'll incinerate.
Okay, so when it comes to doing gallery walls, a really great tip is to make sure you lay it out on the floor before you get it up on the wall. When you have it on the floor here, you can play around with it, you can mix it up, and you can decide on what the best layout is for you.
It don't matter anyway.
Wow, Mom, doesn't this look so good? I love
You did a
it.
great job. And look how it looks great with the gray sofa and stuff. Looks good.
It ties in the pillows so well. It does really brighten up the space, and it makes it feel a little taller. But I think that maybe we could add another thing to this area, like maybe, you know, underneath us, like
Yes.
down there.
It's like I can tell that you
I have an existing area rug.
Okay.
It's a cow skin. You guys might have seen it underneath of my farmhouse, my modern farmhouse Christmas tree last year. So this is something I've owned for a while. Let's replace it and see if that lightens it up a bit.
It's like I can tell that you want me to. And it's not about what we say, it's what we do.
Well, it lightens it up.
Yeah, it looks so much better. It brightens it up. It's not as heavy.
Kind of urban, fun. I have a little bit more left in my budget, and I'd like to complete this conversational area, you know, maybe a couple chairs. The one thing that I wish we didn't have to work with was such a dark gray sofa. But it's what we
Well,
got.
I do have my old cream-colored sofa in my garage right now.
You haven't gotten rid of that yet?
No.
I love that sofa.
Let's go pick it up.
Can I buy it from you for like a super cheap cost so I can keep in my budget?
Yes, $1 million.
And just like a dream is too good to be real.
Are you gonna take it out or am I?
I bet if you pushed over the back of my back, I know that you have a whole lot more strength in your back than you do in your arms.
It's like I can tell that you want me to. And it's not about what we say, it's what we do.
I love it already. Yay.
It's like too.
And we want to make sure the point that we get across on this is that you don't always have to shop for brand new furniture when it comes to large pieces like this. Usually, big sofas are pretty expensive, so do not be afraid to buy used.
Before we finish budget 2, because we saved money and didn't have to buy a new big piece of furniture like a sofa, I think we could afford to get a couple of chairs, 1 or 2 to complete the conversation area. The addition of the extra money made it possible for us to actually buy a new bed. Yes, a headboard, beautiful linen, white. And I went to Mattress Firm on July 4th. They had a sale and I got a brand new mattress. So now I am ready for whatever wants to happen in this guest room / studio apartment. I kept my bedding exactly as it was, but I did add a special new pillow here. Now, as the room goes around, there were some eyesores before. So without spending a whole lot of money, I was able to replace the shade on the door with match stick blinds, white ones, a couple $100, easy peasy.
Over in our living room, you'll see it looks a lot different than level 1. In budget number 2, we could afford to add brand new art. These art pieces allow for the space to be elongated, fills up the wall a little better than the one piece of art that we had pre-existing. And that pulls in this brand new sofa that we have magically appeared in the middle of this room. Now, it's not brand new, it is a used sofa. I sold it to my mom for a little bit of a nice price. And this gave us the flexibility to get rid of that darker sofa. So no longer is this sofa sucking up all the light in the space. We also have a new rug. It's a lot brighter, so it's allowing us to have kind of this different dynamic that mixes the dark with the light. Now before, remember, we couldn't afford to put some chairs over here. Well now, because we saved on getting a used sofa, we were able to splurge on getting some new chairs on this side, but not just this side. From our desk, in case you have friends over, you know, you can chit chat. You have a complete conversational area with a beautiful focal point. Remember, that wall used to be just by itself with the clock.
Here I might add, you know what this is? This isn't new. It's new to our second budget, but it really cost me nothing because it's one of my dining room chairs. It also happens to be tufted like the sofa, and it's in the same color. We also added a lamp so that over here at our desk space, we have a lamp, a few more accessories, and voila, this area is done. Getting rid of that eyesore is huge for me. It was the least expensive thing we did in this budget. I mean, the most expensive things were the bed, mattress, and then the sofa.
I think the artwork was like game changer.
I
It
did too.
changed the color
Huge.
palette. It changed the whole direction of the style, kind of made it a little more sophisticated, and it made it go up a little more and filled the space better.
Yeah, and I really do like our 2 slingback chairs over here in the dark leather, but then by putting the cream color pillows on it, brings the cream of the sofa. The one thing that's so missing in this room is a coffee table. We have a 3rd budget to go,
Yeah.
and we've got some really cool things to add. And we're gonna add all the pizzazz and some color in case you're thinking we're getting way too white and Pinteresty. So what's missing, okay? If you think about what have I taught you in the design sessions all these years? You guys know the 3 things here: focal point, walking room, conversational area. We've got those, but if we wanted to really increase our focal point, what would we do back here? Some of you have probably been watching this entire design session. You keep thinking to yourself, window treatments, yes.
When is she gonna add them? Well, now is the time. Level 3, we are gonna frame our focal point, and we're gonna get some lovely window treatments up on those walls.
And then we're gonna do some even more stuff over here. So stay tuned, this is gonna be fun. I wanna up my bedding. So you guys have seen us do, both Shara and me, do bedding over the years. And I love bedding that brings in color and texture and has more layers to it.
Now, if you guys do have bigger budgets, the other benefit is you can swap out your bedding to make the room feel different for different seasons.
Sure.
When you do white, it's really a budget-friendly situation because it really applies to all seasons. It looks good year-round, but if you do have some extra cash to burn and you like to shop, have fun with your bed. Make it feel different and fun and poppy.
We're gonna make it more springy, summery, and beachy. Try this at the end of the bed. Okay, I got another idea. We're gonna lay it under here. Zippers on the inside and don't going down. What we need to decide is, do we want this part on the inside or do we want the dark green?
I like it with the yellow.
Pretty. So this is what a few more $100 will do to your bedding. We actually have this texture down here on the lower level, and it really just adds so much. It's like all the same color, but the closer you look, the more you see how really great quality it is. When I look at bedding like this, one thing I know is it's actually harder to go under scale than it is to go over the top. You know what I mean? We've actually added a whole nother linen layer to this.
Lots of color we're bringing in.
All the textures together, when someone pulls in and climbs into this bed, wow.
When you walk into this space too, you see this is our focal point. We've framed our focal point. We've really invested in the visual here when people walk in. And then we're gonna spend the rest of our budget in this higher budget over in our conversational area to really make that pop and make it look amazing.
Yeah, and I have a few little ideas to do at the desk area too.
Well, let's get to
So
it.
we're not done. Look at that, isn't that so pretty? It's got both greens that are in that pillow. This also was from Nordstrom. So we wanna put these colors here so that when your eye is going like this, you connect that space with this space as well.
This is our idea of a good time. Can I just tell you?
It's really something that you have to play with, right, hun?
I love it.
Me too. The only thing I'm not thinking I love so much,
The rug.
yeah, now it's a little bit too splashy.
Country.
Yeah, it needs to be more toned down, and I have another cowskin. So much better. It's smoother, it's not all blotchy, and it doesn't have all the holes, so it's a calmer effect and feel.
I think that we need to, we have some of our pillows here, we've got the rug, but we need some of our accessories. We're missing our accessories. And we kind of need a surface to put some of those accessories on.
Yeah, because we took away all those shelves, so there's not a lot. There's
A
the
desk.
desk area.
Right.
There's that clock, which its fate could be in question.
I think it is in question.
Yeah, but where else could we put something?
Maybe a coffee table.
I've wanted one all this time. So we have this phone jack here. This can really cover up this unsightly phone jack and be so cute. I love these little baskets.
Okay, 4 quick tips to cleaning up your space in 15 minutes or less. It starts with cleaning up your trash. Okay, this one I'm gonna save. $6 rewards. This one, no. Oh. Throw away tags. Okay, number 2, kind of obvious, make your bed. In your bedroom, it is the biggest space. Really important to make sure it looks nice. So if it looks dirty, make your bed. And I'm not gonna make this bed because I already made it. And number 3, collect things by category. This goes to the kitchen. This goes to the kitchen. This goes to the kitchen. Don't get distracted by seeing a kitchen item, a bathroom item, and a closet item and trying to pick it all up at once. Try to combine like items. That way you collect it all, go to that location to drop it off or to put it away, and then come back to the mess and go with another category. So after I do kitchen, I'll come back and do clothes, and then after clothes, I'll do office. Ready, go. Then, once you have it, hang it up. Last but not least, number 4, grab a rag, get some Windex, which I'm gonna go get, or you guys can get just water and vinegar, or you can get any glass cleaner, and clean your windows. You wanna make sure that the windows, which are the eyes to the room, are nice and clean and crystal clear.
This looks great. I think, we, just so you guys know, we had plans to change the artwork out here to go with a bigger piece, and we actually decided to keep it because we just thought this looked so good.
Sometimes we have more budget-friendly artwork and you mix it with these higher-end pillows and no one will know the difference. Kind of all looks really high-end, even though you kind of made it a little more budget-friendly, which is great.
We brought in the coffee table.
Looks
and
great.
I
What did you do
actually-
here to make it brighter?
Well, it's super dark because, it's all the espresso stuff. Trust me, it was in at one time. So I added this big oversized tray, which is great for serving, and it's mirrored. Put it on top of some white books, clear decanter, very transitional, and then some succulents, which is so perfect in this space. Just love all the greens.
Yeah.
Love the greens.
And you have different variations of greens.
Yeah,
here,
and look
which
at
is
this,
cool.
you guys. I just want you to know. They're from Salvation Army. I think that they were 50 cents each.
Is my favorite weather.
And I love how with this level budget, you can really invest in a lot of the added accessories. You look over at the desk area, that used to be super sparse and really didn't have a lot going on because we invested a lot of our budget in the bigger items. When you have a higher budget, you get the nice items and you get the extra little things that really make a space look amazing.
I did the stick thing.
Yeah, you did do the stick thing.
Listening to the radio.
You also included some of the burlap, like natural textures with that cute bag, and you have different color vases and different shapes. So you really did a lot over there, but it doesn't feel overwhelming.
There is something in the middle of that desk that I particularly love. It was my very first Apple computer.
Aw, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the very first one I ever had.
Condition.
The last cherry on top, wonderful thing that we could do that would not only provide amazing, style.
Accommodations.
Well,
right?
I was gonna say style and just like aesthetically would be very pleasing. It would provide an amazing focal point for the people that are sitting on the sofa.
Or even in bed.
In bed too. And it goes right above here. But we need to move this guy in order to show you what it is. Do you wanna know what the last thing is? It's gonna just like finish us off.
Should we give them like a hint?
I bet you they could guess.
The Bachelorette.
Sneaking out the back door, listening to the radio.
The reason I love this is because it does so many things. What I added was this beautiful LG television. Yeah, it's a more pricey thing to put in a room. However, here's what it does. It provides me an amazing, large, horizontal piece of art. That right there, bing, 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 that's money. Number 2, it also provides me entertainment, both in the living room section as well as the bedroom section. So that is amazing. Because you can also watch, oh my, I look terrible there. You can watch YouTube videos, you guys, you can watch the design sessions on something like this. This is a 65-inch television. It fit that space so beautifully. I wish we were more at the end where it looks pretty.
Sneaking out the back door, listening to the radio.
Kara, come on over here. I want to thank her for joining me today in this design session because you know what, honey, you are so good with small spaces.
Thanks, Mom.
You did a great job. I thought we looked really good in those overalls.
You can't put out this fire 'cause I'm a volcano.
Thank you for joining me for today's design session. I hope it's been really helpful for you. We have another one coming up next month that's going to be out of this world. We're already planning it. We're already starting our filming. You're going to love it. And remember, if you love the design sessions, please share this with one of your friends. I wish I could reach my hand right through that camera and tell you how much you mean to me, because you do. We're here for you because we want to help make a difference in your home and ultimately in your life. All right, I'll see you guys next time at the next design session. Bye-bye.
Hopefully from this little demo, okay, Mom, sit up, come on. From this, come on.
Okay, now we're, okay, sorry.